Welcome back, traders. So yesterday I did go over Charm, the new fairy quick move that was added into Pokemon Go's data. We cannot get it quite yet. There's going to be two notable Pokemon that can learn this. It's going to be Gardevoir and Togekiss. And Charm deals no damage. It just lowers the attack. Another yawn. Good point. We're going to be going over that here in just a moment to see what we can come up with. And then another point somebody bring up is that Ralts is on the Go Fest poster. Can we possibly see this as a shiny as well as the new Charm move introduced for Gardevoir eventually? That is a good point. So we saw the poster. We're like, oh look, it's a Pachirisu. Behind the Mamoswine we have Hippowdons, or should I say Hippopotas, an unknown, and then the Horsey's that, oh, we're gonna probably see those shiny, and then the Turtwig, which everybody just completely ignored. But over here in the corner, lying in wait, is the little Ralts, knowing all along, hey guys, I'm gonna be the shiny. Us thinking that we're going to be getting a community day for this in the future just kind of threw it to the side. And before we hop into more information about Charm, we need to take a step back and look at the slakoth community day, in which Slacking is going to be receiving the special move Body Slam. So it is going to be getting staff from that, but on the other hand, it still will have Yawn dealing no damage. But it begs the question as, are they going to add some sort of effect for Yawn, possibly slowing down your opponent with every yawn you do, or possibly every 3 yawns that you do? And with Snorlax just released with yawn doing really nothing for it, it just makes you wonder what Niantic has up their sleeve for this move possibly in the future, giving it some sort of status effect. Alright, so we're over here on Bulbapedia taking a look at Charm for the main series games. So as we can see, it deals no damage whatsoever. Okay, very interesting. So what is it going to do exactly? Could Niantic actually make it do some damage? Or are they going to stick to a yawn style? Obviously, this is going to have some sort of effect, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at that and see what exactly it could be. All right, so looking at Charm's effect in the main series games, it's not going to be a normal type. It is a fairy type move, in fact, so just disregard that. It lowers the attack stat of the target by 2 stages. All right, that's pretty much it. That's all we need to know there. It's going to be a lowering the attack, so we're going to see a very quick move, but it's going to deal no damage, but at the same time lowering the attack of the opponent 2 stages. Is that all we're going to see implemented for this move in Pokemon Go? It's very hard to believe. And as you may know, if you do PvP, the only time you're going to see any sort of status lowering effect is going to be during battling another opponent. This does not have any effect during gym battles or raids, making the very quick move, if they did add this Charm, absolutely useless going up against gyms and raids, and only making it viable in PvP. So, do you think that they're actually going to do this? If we take a step back and think about it, it could possibly happen because we have Yawn. But like I said, I think we're going to see some sort of status effect for Yawn, possibly slowing down the opponent, making it harder for them to charge their energy. Something to that effect. Putting them to sleep is a bit of a gamble for this game because the battles go by so fast. They'd have to be asleep for like 2 or 3 seconds. Otherwise, Yawn would be extremely OP if you can just simply put your opponents to sleep. So taking a look at Ominous Wind here, it is going to be raising your defense as well as your attack in PvP. There is a 10% chance of that happening. Otherwise, going up against gyms and raids PvE, there is going to be no effect, simply doing damage. So what could we possibly see for Charm here? Are they going to actually add on damage, or is it simply going to be 0 damage and a possibility of lowering your opponent's attack? Personally, I think they're going to add damage to this Charm move for Pokemon Go, as we see Niantic make changes from the main series games into Pokemon Go. So what do you think, trainers? Are we going to get a shiny Ralts released on GoFest and then out for the world afterwards? I think that's going to be a high possibility, as well as a new quick move for Gardevoir, Charm. And if you're wondering, oh well, cool, Gardevoir, if Ralts is going to get a shiny, that means you're going to be able to get shiny Glade as well. Is that going to get a new move? Well, at this point I couldn't really tell you, but something to take note of is if we do see this released on GoFest as a shiny, we can more than likely rule it out to get a community day in the future, unfortunately. But that's okay. If it was to receive some sort of move to benefit it, that's going to be great. And you're not going to have to worry about, oh, I evolved a whole bunch of my 100s or a good IV one or maxed one out. You're going to simply be able to TM it. And that's also good news for Glade as well, because if you did evolve a bunch of those, you don't have to worry about a future community day for that. Simply TM it if you do have the TMs, and if you are able to actually get it without burning through about 10 of them, right? Like we discussed, depending on how vast the move pool is. If you do have 2 moves already purchased and they do only have 3 charge moves, well then it's going to be simple for you to get it. But if they do say have like 4 charge moves possibly, but that's not the case for Glade or for Gardevoir, you should be looking okay. As far as the quick moves, there's going to be 3 there, so it's going to take possibly a few cycles through, but it shouldn't be too difficult. So that is actually a plus side on that. If we did see this release at GoFest for Shiny, you will be able to simply TM the ones that you have to get this new move, and you don't have to worry about the whole community day, catching them and then evolving them and then trading them to get luckies to get a good one, blah, 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 blah. You can just simply TM it and you'll be all right. So that is a plus, and it's a high possibility. And thank you for bringing all of that stuff to my attention. I did go over the Bulbapedia before I made that last video and see what Charm did do exactly. And you know what? I should have included it. I don't know what I was thinking and why I did not put that in. And in other news here, Niantic is going to be discontinuing the Apple Watch, unfortunately, as of July 1st. So all of you who do have the Apple Watch and like to use it to help yourselves hatch eggs, this feature is going to be gone in less than 24 hours, unfortunately. Not too sure why they're doing this, but who knows, they probably have their reasons. In addition, with the newest update to Pokemon Go, with this Snorlax event, you had to throw 2 Pokeballs or Ultra or Great Balls at the Snorlax if you are in fact in the catch screen, and then on your 3rd ball you would catch it no matter what. No matter excellent, great, or nice throw, you can hit it outside the ring. Doesn't matter if you Golden Razz it, it's just a guaranteed catch on the 3rd throw. But now you can in fact fast catch it, and it should be easy to go. Your Go Plus was going to be able to catch it on its first try anyways, but that was kind of a little annoying. No big deal that you had to throw 3 balls, but now you can simply fast catch it and be on your way. Alright, so since we're on the topic of the shiny Ralts, let's go ahead and talk about Gardevoir and Glade really quick here and take a look at their stats and their current movesets. So if you did not know, if you have a Curlia, if it's a female, it will evolve into Gardevoir. If it's a male, it will go into Glade. Previously, before, obviously any sort of male or female will evolve into Gardevoir before the release of Glade. So if you do have one of those male Gardevoirs, I guess hold on to it as a bit of a prize. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at Gardevoir first. So this is a fantastic Pokemon. What do I like using it the most for? Well, personally, dropping in gyms, because it's going to be a Psychic and Fairy type, both of those resisting fighting, and seeing that people like to drop in Blissies, Snorlax, Chanseys, and I don't know, Agrons, I suppose, maybe. Just things that are going to be weak to fighting like Steelix. This is going to be a bit of a trouble for the Machamp teams that they're going in there with once they do run into this. If they have Heavy Slam, it will be super effective, but Confusion is going to be dealing massive damage to those Machamps. So Psychic and Fairy type with a max CP of 3093, attack 237, looking great. Defense 195, which is fantastic. Pretty good on the high end there. Stamina 169. All right, so let's go ahead and move down here. Got the ads for the clear bags because I was shopping for those because of GoFest. And then it's going to be weak to Ghost, Poison, and Steel, resisting, Dragon, Fighting, and Psychic. All right, looking great there. Now let's go ahead and take a look at its moves. We have Charge Beam and Confusion, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Dazzling Gleam for the charge moves. So as you see on mine, I personally have Dazzling Gleam to get stabbed. And then I have Shadow Ball for a bit of coverage. Psychic, no thank you, because I already have Confusion on it. There's no point, as Confusion's doing massive damage. Now, using this in PvP for the Great League, Gardevoir, do you want to do that? Well, personally, I have one. There's better options with Confusion. It's just going down too quick. It takes too long to get off your charge moves. So, kind of going to rule it out there. For the Ultra League, not bad. For the Master League, pretty good, right? So what do you want to go with, Charge Beam or Confusion? If you're using this in PvP, Charge Beam is going to help you in some situations, but honestly, you're better off going with Confusion because it does have a decent amount of energy gain. And if you do not want to purchase a secondary move, what should you go with for the charge move? Psychic, Shadow Ball, or Dazzling Gleam? I would probably go with Dazzling Gleam, as you're going to be getting staff from that. Although Shadow Ball is not going to be a horrible option. It'll give you coverage against specific types of Pokemon, like say a Metagross. If somebody brings that to the battle, you're going to be doing super effective as to reduce damage from the Dazzling Gleam, and not very effective with your Confusion. So that's why Shadow Ball is pretty good on Gardevoir. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at Glade to see what it has going on for it. Alright, so here we are with Glade, and if you're thinking, okay, so if Gardevoir can get a new very quick move Charm that's going to potentially be doing no damage but lowering the opponent's attack in PvP, What is Glade going to get? Are they going to show it a little love? Possibly, but at this point, I'm not really leaning on too much of it learning a new attack there. Maybe another time down the road. And like we discussed, since it's going to maybe potentially get this shiny for Ralts, we're not going to be seeing a community day, but don't quote me on this. We're just kind of connecting the dots and doing a little detective work and digging in a little deeper into what we found here, and also replying to some of these comments that the two that I showed in the beginning, those weren't the only ones. There was many of you who were concerned about other situations, and this is why we're going over it. But the plus side is, if you already have a few of these or one, and you don't have that many candies, and you're concerned about not getting a community day and getting enough candies to make a couple more, I mean, at least when they do release specific moves for it, you will be able to TM it in that regard, right? So Glade is going to be a psychic and fighting type Pokemon. For the Ultra League, how does it perform? Or should I say for the Great League, it works good. I have one, haven't purchased a secondary move, bit steep, 75,000 Stardust and 75 candies. So still deciding whether or not I want to do that. For the current World Cups, it does work great. A few people have been able to make this thing just work fantastic for them, so I haven't personally used it. When Worlds was first announced, I did use it a few times right away before anybody bring it to light, and I decided to just not go with it, but unfortunately wasn't able to compete in Worlds because of the errors in the phone. So max EP 3093, attack 237, defense 195, and stamina 169. It is going to be weak to Fairy, Flying Ghost, and resisting, fighting, and rock. So let's go ahead and take a look at its moves here, see what it has going on. So low kick and then confusion. Low kick is not good. It's not good in PvP. It's not good in raids. It's just all around not great. Confusion, obviously a strong hitting psychic move, which it will be getting stab from, and decent amount of energy gain as well. Close combat for the charge move, psychic and leaf blade, all of which are charges. Psychic, not so much. You have confusion going on there. You're dealing plenty of psychic damage. Leaf blade is probably where you're going to want if you do not purchase a secondary move. Continuously happening, spammy, neutral damage to, some Pokemon. Hard hitting, doesn't take much to get it off. Close combat is going to what you're going to want for your secondary move possibly, or you can go close combat for your first move without purchasing a second one. It's all up to you and your playstyle and how your team works. But it does look pretty good. Doesn't take too long with that confusion. And then when you do finally get off that close combat, if you did burn through their shields, you're more than likely going to be taking them down, unless you're going up against some sort of ghost and poison type, hunter. But anything that's going to be resisting it will obviously take reduced damage, but it's still going to be hitting hard, as we know in PvP. Even if you take reduced damage and the move does do a lot of damage, it's still going to hurt them quite a bit. So there you have Glade. As to speculation as what move is it going to possibly be getting in the future, we have been over that many times, and we'll just probably leave it at that. We can go down the list in Bulbapedia to see the dozens of moves it can possibly learn, but as of now, we'll just have to wait and see if it is actually going to get a new move. So there you have it, trainers. I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing some sort of status effect on this. If they simply just add it and just make it do damage, that works good too. We're going to finally get a very quick move that's going to be dealing damage. But if they do add it without dealing any damage, but simply lowering the opponent's attack, that's going to be a little bit strange, because it's not going to be viable in PvE, only PvP. And we'll have to even see how well it performs in PvP without dealing damage and still lowering your opponent's attack. That sounds nice and appealing to some degree, but at the same time, we've been waiting for a very quick move. And at this point, if they do add one and it deals no damage, oh my goodness, I could see the outrage, because not everybody's PvPing, right? I'm a massive fan. I live for PvP. That is what the game is all about for me now. But a lot of you just are not feeling it, which is perfectly fine. The playstyle is not what a lot of you wanted, and simple as that. No big deal, right? We all have different preferences. So if they did add this without dealing damage, oh boy, the backlash is probably going to be pretty big. But anyways, with that said, trainers, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this speculation video. And are we going to be seeing more moves dealing different sort of effects like yawn, as well as this charm coming in? And are we even going to possibly even see like status effects themselves, like paralyze, poison, burn? I think we'll be getting those in the distant future, but as of now, probably not so much. And the more they add these little features to PvP, the more dynamic it becomes and the more complex. You remember how people said all PvP is tap, 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 tap when it first was released. Well, guess what? We're playing on smartphones. What are we supposed to do? Jumping jacks? Obviously, you're tapping your phone, right? So it is a lot more complex than just simply tap, tap, tap. You're gonna have to play strategy. And I'm gonna tell you this too, the PvP game is becoming more and more fierce as the months go on, as people understand how to play. People who were really not that good when it first came out are pros at this point, and people who you think you may have underestimated at one point in time are making a comeback and actually playing fairly well because they practice and now they know how it works. It's not just go in there with the best Pokemon and just stay in there with your first one until it faints and then shield up when you think you want to. You have to really play your cards correctly. So PvP has become a lot more dynamic, and it's really fun guys, right? So anyways, thank you for watching, trainers. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.